Number 6, we're looking to find the volume of this prism. So volume has 3 dimensions, and volume we can do length times width times height. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to look from left to right. It looks like it's 3 boxes left to right, or 3 cubes, sorry. From front to back we have this one in the middle, and there's not one right here, but I can use that one to count. So it's going to be 3 from front to back, and usually the friendliest of the bunch is to determine how tall it is, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't forget that bottom row, which is 5 tall. So what we need to do now is just plug these numbers into our formula. And again, our formula is length times width times height, so we can go 3 times 3 times 5, and 3 times 3 times 5 is going to give us 45 cubic units. Now explain how you found the volume of the prism. We could say, I counted the boxes for the length, width, and height. I found the volume by using V equals L times W times H, which stands for the length, width, and height, so that 3 times 3 times 5 equals 45 units with a 3 cubed, or you could say cubic units. And now our next question goes right along with our volume theme, which is, why is a unit cube a good unit for measuring volume? All right, well, one is, and 2 similar versions really saying the same thing, and it really boils down to the cubes fit together nicely, leaving no gaps. They just fit together, you know, where a sphere or a ball, they fit together nicely, but there's some gaps and some spacing, so it's not quite as exact as using cubes. They just fit in there so perfect. Another way to say the same thing, cubes are 3D objects that stack perfectly. And the perfectly, really, like I just mentioned, to stack perfectly, we're just saying that it's not leaving any gaps or any spaces in between. And if ever you're not sure, all you have to do is just remember that if you look up in number 6, it says it's cubic units, like the picture uses cubes. So if it's ever a question whether do we use balls or spheres or a different object or cubes, you can use that as a reminder that cubes are indeed the best option, and the reason why is they fit together so nicely. Number 8, we are continuing with volume, and our question reads, Alvaro is buying boxes from a moving company. He wants to buy the box that will fit the most of his belongings. He can choose between the following 3 options. So box 1 is 4 by 3 by 4. Box 2 is 4 feet tall with an area of the base at 8 feet squared, or box 3 is 4 by 5 by 2 feet. Now recall, volume can use length times width times height, which will work nicely for boxes 1 and 3, box 1 and 3, but box 2 is going to need a different formula, which sometimes can be found to be tricky, even though it's really quite simple once you think about it, which is big B times H. So this is going to be our big B, and this is going to be our H here, and that is going to obviously then work for box 2. So now with box 1, to find the volume of box 1, first I'm going to show the work, and I'm going to use the length times width times height formula, and do 4 times 3 times 4 equals, first part is 12 times 4 is 48, and then we need our unit, feet, with a 3. So now I'm just going to transfer this answer back here at the volume of box 1 is 48 feet cubed. Go to box 2. Box 2, we're going to use the big B times H formula. So we are going to do 8 times 4 equals 32. And again, our unit is feet. And this is one that trips some people up. They want to do feet squared because of our big B, but it's still volume, so we must have that exponent or to the 3rd power, which means cubed. And again, we are simply just going to rewrite this answer over here, 32 feet cubed. And our final one, box 3, we mentioned prior with the up above here that we are going to use the length times width times height formula, so it doesn't matter the order. 4 times 5 times 2 equals, looks like 20 times 2 is 40. Don't forget your label, feet cubed. And as I seem to be like a broken record, we just move that over here. We go 40 feet cubed. And it says, which box should Alvaro buy? We come back, we review the question up above here. And remember, it wants us to buy the box that can fit most of his belongings. And that means the biggest volume. So the bigger the box, the bigger the volume, the more stuff you can fit in. So Alvaro should buy box. Look up here, which we have 48, 32, 40. It really wasn't even that close. Box 1, because it has the largest volume. And now I'm just going to clarify for your sake, which means this means that he can fit more of his belongings in this box than the others. So really we could have done, the pink would have been fine. Alvaro should buy box 1 because it has the largest volume. Just to clarify, what does it mean to have the largest volume? It means it's going to hold the most stuff. So if you want to use that, so you can shorten that, really explain your answer part, you may do something as long as you capture the idea of that box 1 is the best option because it's the biggest, the greatest volume means the greatest space to put all of your stuff.